So, am I recording now? This is working? I think so. So, hi everyone, and welcome to this webinar on how to create content for a hair transplant website. My name is Helene, and I am one of the Swedish Evas. And today I see that most of you who are participating already have a website. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Most of you who are participating today already have your own website, but I'm going to try to make this general so that it's interesting for everyone, because content is universal. So today I am going to talk about the following topics. I'm going to have a look at the review page, the price and the cost page, and we're going to finish with a question and answer session. The reason why we want to talk about the review page is that there has been some misunderstandings on how this page should, what this page should look like. I'll show you, this is my site. So I'll give you a quick background, maybe first on what, can I take myself away from here? Yeah. A quick background on what this site is all about. So hårtransplantation.nu, what I want to do with this site is that I want people to click on the price page because I have a form that I want them to fill in. And people are only going to fill in this form if they find my page on Google, if it ranks well, and also if I provide enough interesting information. So I, like, you see, you fill in several steps, and at the very last step, I'll do this very quickly. I want people to fill in their name, phone number, and email in order for the company behind this web page to contact them, and they get a comparison of prices of hair clinics and offers for hair clinics abroad. But no one will want to fill in this web page if they don't find my site, and that's why I'm going to, in order to make it rank it high on Google, I am going to provide the reader with lots of interesting information. I have a destination page about hair transplants in Stockholm and in Turkey. I'm going to fill out with more destinations that are ranking high. I'm going to write about treatments. I have a blog that's supporting my other pages with internal links. And what I'm going to talk about today is the review page. So far, I've only been writing 3 reviews. I was thinking I'll just do this hands-on. I'll show you one of the reviews and talk a bit about what I think about when I write a review, what's important in mind, and how to do it. Let's see, I've been putting up some just. For the keywords, it's the same thing as always. Like it's all in the template, so you don't have to think that much. The keyword density should be, as always, between 1.5 and 2%. You're going to use H2s to structure your text. You have to use your focus keyword a few times in the H2s. And very important that people tend to forget is to use sub-keywords in the headers. This I see very often on web pages that people are not thinking about at all. So please don't forget that. It's very important. So here I have the reason that we're doing reviews is that it's very interesting. It's going to make your site rank high and fast. I wrote this review maybe 10 days ago, 1 week, 2 weeks ago, and it's already ranking. It's 25 on Google right now. The reason for this is that, of course, it has great content, but also that there is not much competition. Like most of you have probably been writing casino text and been writing casino reviews, and you know that the competition is, if you Google a casino and name and review, you're going to have tons and tons of competitors writing about the same thing. Here, at least in Sweden, it's just one guy, I'll show you his site later, who's doing the same thing as us. And I think that me and Linda, who are doing the other, who's doing the other hair transplant site in Swedish, are going to outrank this guy quite quickly. because his site is not that good. So first of all, like always, I having a review of Poseidon Kliniken in my H1, my focus keyword. Just talk you to quickly through this part. This is going to be the same for all our sites. The reason for this is that it's very important that this is not like I looked a bit at the other pages, and it's very important to have in mind that this is not a commercial. Like if I would look for a review of Poseidon Kliniken, I don't want to come to a page that sells. I want to have facts and figures and something like information about price and methods and who's the doctor at this clinic, like things that actually are interesting to me when I'm going to do a hair transplant. A good way to find out if you don't have much information, like a lot of these websites, maybe the websites are not super, like for example, Poseidon Kliniken, they have a lot of very nice videos of celebrities doing hair transplants, but maybe not that much information, is to actually look on forums. You're also going to see that when you search for, you do keyword search, because very often like the forum, the name of the forum is coming up, like I had Poseidon Kliniken and a forum or Trustpilot, or there's a forum in Sweden that's called Flashback, which is a bit politically incorrect, but it's a lot of people looking apparently for hair transplant information there. And it's always good to take a few minutes to check out what people actually are talking about in these forums. But like, what are they looking for? What type of information do they want about the clinic? So this part is basically there to make sure that the readers of the reviews, it will look the same for all the reviews, just to make sure that they can quickly compare the different clinics. I'm keeping this in my template. I'm keeping the same information. I'm uploading straight away with the same information all the time. So there is no confusion for the writer. If you don't have the information, just write not available. Will make your site look more professional. Like we're not guessing. We're giving correct and good information. Like it's all about authority and showing that you know your subject. I'm starting with an introduction where I have an internal link that Jem talked about in the webinar about internal linking, very important. And I'm also having my focus keyword already. I'm always trying to mention it as early as possible in the text. I'm having it in the first sentence. I'm naming this guy, Gustav Bodin. He's the founder of the clinic. That's because I saw on forums that a lot of people were asking about him and talking about him, like he's I don't know, he's a serious guy. He's been starting this clinic, so I thought it was good to mention him. Trying to get some interesting information as soon as possible as early on as possible in the text. I've also been trying to, it's always good to include locations. I saw when I did a keyword search that Poseidon Kliniken in Norway and Oslo, and Copenhagen also came up. Can also be interesting for Swedish readers to know, and also good for people actually searching on it in Google. My first H2, I'm also including a location. So in this case, Stockholm, as it has a lot of searches. I'm including the name of the clinic. I'm trying to at once to grab the reader with interesting information. I have the internal link. So what did I write about? I wrote about the punches that they use in this clinic. I saw also this also on a forum because there wasn't much info on their own website, but they had a bit. I thought they were using a punch that's very thin. This is apparently important and interesting for people. So I was just, in order to have good facts, instead of just writing this clinic is great, go there, they have good prices, they're good in every way. I'm trying to, I think those sites should have as a USP to write both about good and bad things about the clinics. Like every clinic obviously has some bad things, and they also have some good things. Like make this a serious review, write about good and bad things. It's not a commercial. So I've been including facts then about the punch that they are using, the implanter pen. Which could provide value. It's also good. People could search for this on Google, and it's providing real value for the reader. It will make them to want to stay on my page, hopefully, and read more. In the next part, I'm talking about the surgeon, the doctor that's performing at the clinic. This is also because I saw that people are actually searching for information about the doctor, like a lot of the forums, especially for people going abroad for hair transplants, are, oh, I'm going to have a hair transplant with Dr. in 3 weeks. Is he any good? This clinic has a doctor that's named Slavik Pichiak, so I did a bit of research on him. Also an easy way to fill out your text with interesting content is to write about the doctor and what he's been doing before and what type of methods he's using. Here I have also, this is very important, I have a cross-link to one of my other clinics, Acacia Medical. We're going to cross-link in between all the clinics. Like every clinic is going to have at least one link in another text. This is for the famous spider to crawl, but and also like so the page get indexed fast in Google, so Google can actually find it and what it's about. What else can I say about this? Yes, then I have a FAQ section. This is very important. You want to include relevant questions in your text. I think the reasons for my sites, to the ones that are ranking well, it's because I have questions. It's super important to have good questions. I always include questions. You can of course include them as H2s, and if you have an FAQ, it's great. I'm including the name of the clinic, of course. Good to know about Poseidon Kliniken. And here I've seen that people tend to forget, so do I sometimes, that it's super important while you're in your text and you forget like to include the name of the clinic in your question. Like a good question is this one: how much does a hair transplantation at Poseidon Kliniken cost? Everyone wants to know that. That's what people Google for, cost or price. And here I have cost, hair transplantation, and Poseidon Kliniken. I've seen a lot of questions like, how much does it cost? What's it? Like, how much does a Christmas tree? How much does a house cost? It won't lead you anywhere. It doesn't make any sense. It's not a precise question. Like, include as much information as possible, like keywords and the name of the clinic. Here I think I had very few keywords when doing a search for Poseidon Kliniken, but I know from experience that people are asking for guarantees. That's quite obvious when you read a bit about hair clinics and look on their websites. So I included a question about that, about their guarantees. The cost is going to be probably in every FAQ because it's really, well, that's the first thing everyone wants to know. The reason I'm not mentioning in my last question, I'm just asking how long does it take? How long does the hair transplantation at the clinic take? Sorry, this is because I'm not mentioning Poseidon Kliniken here because my keyword density would be too high. I would go over 2%. So that's the reason why but I'm still mentioning hair transplantation and the clinic. I'm just not saying how long does it take because not a good CEO question. And I'm finishing with a nice CTA, always good to make the reader want to click on the price button or down here. I have an internal link and we help you who want to do a hair transplantation to compare prices from quality tested certified clinics. Again, we're an authority in this, it's quality, they are certified. Contact us to get the best offer. And here you click to get the best offers from hair clinics today. So that's basically it. See, I have a bit of, I was putting up a few things to think about down here. So make sure to write an informative and fact-filled text. Like I always try to think, what would I Google? Like, or if I would look for hair transplant, what would I Google then? I'm having this, thinking about this all the time because it just makes it so much easier and it makes the text so much more interesting. Make sure you have good headers. Your website should be scannable both for you and for Google, like to get a quick idea of what it's about. When you read the text, at least when I read the text, I always, the headlines is what I see first, and I see where there can be interesting information. It's also much easier for Google likes a well-structured and easy read page. And the language and the tone, as I said, show that you're an expert in the field. There should be no doubt that you actually know what you're talking about. The person should feel confident that you know this, and there is a good reason to actually fill in the form, because you're going to get correct prices from the expert in the field. And use long tail keywords, keywords that are more than 3 words, and like questions, as I said. Use questions as much as you can. It's super interesting. It grabs the reader's attention. It's things that people Google for all the time. Include locations, also very, very important. I'm finding most of the locations in Keyword Tool. Same thing for the questions. There's, as you know, a special tab for that. The locations, they're usually coming up, but you can also, of course, Google for them. And very importantly, don't forget to cross-link. As I said, super important. Every clinic should have their own link. Meta titles, I'm not an expert on that. Jamie is going to do a webinar that I'm looking forward to very much about this. Make sure that the meta title is good. I'll keep it to that, because that's what you see when you Google. You see the meta title, so it has to be something that people want to click on. And of course, your site should have a nice design. I was going to illustrate this. This is the, let's see if I can go to the, yeah. So this is the guy where me and Linda, we're competing with in Sweden for the reviews, the only one who's doing review sites in Sweden, Hårtransplantationsguiden.se. This is his review of, I think it's a guy, because he's only available one in the evenings. This is his review of a clinic, one of the biggest clinics in Sweden. I don't think the design is that fantastic. And mostly he's not at all following any CEO rules, like he's just writing processes and about the clinic. I'm sure he has interesting information, but it kind of drowns in the ugliness of the page. It's not very, so I was quite happy when I saw this page. I'm feeling that we have like, if this is the competition apart from the clinic in itself, it's going to be easy to rank. We'll see. Anyway, so that's it about the review page. I think I'll take, if you have any questions, we can take them at the end. I'll talk a bit about the price page in the meantime. I was going to have a look if I can. It's hidden under. Yeah, this is one of the other review pages. I was looking quickly. This is the site that we all have been cloning, and it's been getting new reviews now. I don't want to do a complete review of someone else's review. I just want to say that I think that this page is a bit too selling. Like, everything is rated excellent. It would have been maybe better with a star system or something, that you can actually see that if all clinics are are great, like, what's the point of having a review? Of course, it can all be great, but there has to be good and bad sides to all the clinics. Like, this is not a commercial. I think this has been a bit the misunderstanding. And also, let's see what else. Representation in Turkey, why is it a good idea? Yeah, try to focus a bit more maybe on the clinic, on the good and bad, the pros and cons, such things, and yeah, and the questions. How long does it take to the final results? I don't know. Just try to include the name of the clinic. This question is very good. How much does a hair transplant cost at the clinic on a center? The other 2 questions are a bit maybe not so linked to the clinic. Like, try to focus on your subject. We're going to have a look at this on the price page as well, but it's the importance of actually focusing on what you're writing about, not to lose your reader about, or also not to to focus for Google, also to focus on your subject and the actual keywords for what you're writing about. Let's see if I can go back to this is the price page. So we'll leave the reviews for now, and I'll talk about the price page quickly. Same rules here. I just wrote, why is the price page so important? It's the same rules as for the other pages, but this is really important. Make sure to include the price, cost, plus your focus keyword. This is, of course, the most, as I said, the most important page of this is where I want all my readers to end up and to fill in this form and generate leads. And I want this page to convert. So this is by far the most important page on my site. Of course, the other ones are important too, because I want my site to rank on everything, and I want it to be interesting both for the readers and for Google. But here, I've been doing a keyword search, and I am always doing both. This is, of course, it depends on your language, but in Sweden, it's price or cost, the two synonyms for when you're talking about prices. And the price was ranking higher than cost in this case, so I put together with my focus keyword hårtransplantation. So I made the focus keyword for this page hårtransplantation pris. I'm straight away talking about the cost also. So how much does hair transplantation cost? I have an internal link. I'm talking about, it's kind of hard to write about price in this page is 1,000 words. As a writer, it's kind of hard to write 1,000 words about price and keep it interesting. So you really have to do your research here as well. I think it really pays off to do it the first times. I've been writing, I don't know how many price pages for like carpenter sites, maybe hundreds. And once you've been writing 3-4, you really get the hang of it. And trust me, it gets easy. The first time, maybe it's a bit difficult, but do your research and it will be much easier. So I'm having, how much does a hair transplant cost here? I am trying to answer some of the most interesting questions at once to make sure the reader follows me. I am in every header H2, I'm having a keyword that actually ranks. So here I have a method for your hair transplantation that suits your budget. It's still about price. So I'm keeping on. Let's see what else I can say. I don't really know what to say about this. Here I have price on hair transplantation. I have the questions about hair transplants at the very end. This is also, of course, super important. Let's see, questions here. Yeah, Sanna is asking if we have instructions on how to set up the questionnaire. Yes, we do. I'll talk about that later. Anyway, where was I? So this is just as important to make sure you're using price and cost in headers and also in the text. This should of course be in your template as keywords. We've been doing a Q&A at the end. These are questions, same thing as I'm looking for questions that people actually are searching for. So can you borrow money for hair transplantation? Are there any assurances, or in Sweden, this is a very specific Swedish question, can the state help you, like the state insurance help you to pay when you have hair loss? And why is your price for hair transplantation in Turkey lower? I could maybe put lower than in Sweden, would have been better. And I'm also including, at the end I'm having just a bullet list to sum up everything. Nice and easy to read. I could have ended with a call to action, of course. But what else was I going to say? It's also, of course, here very important to include, see if I have it. also destinations, like I have price of hair transplantation in Turkey somewhere. Well, I can't see it now, but it's all about destinations and questions, and mostly for this page to actually include cost and price, have it in your headlines together with hair transplantation, and keep the content interesting. Also, of course, nice looking page, same thing as for the other pages. So I think that is it about this. I think this applies to basically all the basic rules that apply to all your sites. Or to all the landing pages of the site, or the page sub-pages as well. It's just don't forget to don't forget to use keywords a lot, and to do really good research, because otherwise your text will never rank and it will never be interesting for people to read. I'll see if I can open the chat. Any questions though? So Sanna had a question on instructions on how to set up the questionnaire. There is an instruction I can share. We'll put you in the group where Jörn had made a movie about that, Sanna, so we'll be fine. Does anyone else have any questions? Feel free to ask them. Otherwise, you can always send also questions to the chat, or straight to me or another Eva, and I'll answer them. We're going to have new ones that are participating. Is this website made in WordPress? Yes, it's a WordPress website. Mike D. There are going to be a lot of interesting opportunities. It's a lot happening right now in Wordapper. There are going to be, right now we have hair transplantation sites in English, Finnish, Swedish, Norwegian. There are going to be German sites, or German sites, maybe even in plural, and Danish sites. So if you're interested in writing a trial text, you can get, we all have reward points that we can give to writers that seem interesting, that are interested in being a part of the project. It's a good way to get discovered by an Eva. Most projects nowadays in Wordapper are private, so if you contact us, we can, that's an easy way for us to get in contact with good writers, and also for you to get to build your own websites if you're good at writing, because of course that's the basis. And if you're interested just in writing, also please don't hesitate to contact us, because we have a lot of work right now, and we will have a lot of work in the future, so that's really nice for everyone. Does anyone else have any questions? Otherwise, I think we'll wrap this up. No? Okay. Well, as I said, if you have any questions after, don't hesitate to ask them in the chat. But thank you very much for joining. I hope my connection was good enough. I have a bit of a problem with this sometimes, and that everything was clear. Well, no, was no question. Okay. Well, have a nice day, everyone. Thank you very much to all of you. I always see there's quite a lot of people. It's nice for joining, and I hope to see you in Wordapper, and that you'll write for our sites. Have a nice day. Bye. Thank you.